Absolutely. Hello everyone. Welcome to a new video of Mömus. We are makers of stuff for car guys, and I think we should address the issues of owning a used car and compare them to the obvious downsides of buying and owning a new car. So many people are afraid of, including me in the beginning, if you buy and daily drive a used car, what will go wrong, and is there a warranty to back it up, and will it leave me stranded by the side of the road? It all depends on the car you're buying and the age of it, and also the mileage it has done. This one has done 200,000 kilometers and was 20 years old by the time we bought it. However, normally buying a used car versus buying a new car is not really about this type of car, it's not really about this age of car or this kilometers. And recently I was looking for a replacement of this car, and I too was looking at maybe I should get a new car and lease it. And specifically I was interested in a VW Scirocco. It's one of these cars that still has kind of an old school feeling even though they are new, and it especially feels a lot nicer than its brothers on the newer platform from Volkswagen, and being based on the Golf 5. And so I went to the Volkswagen Luxembourg website and I found the leasings for leasing deals for this Scirocco. And in fact we're gonna pull over and we're gonna discuss these leasing deals because this is very interesting. I went on the Volkswagen Luxembourg website, like I said. I was looking for the Scirocco, and more specifically the GTS. It's kind of like the GTI but in Scirocco shape. Has 220 horsepower and 2-liter turbocharged engine for a new price of 32,080 euros, and there was a 5,000 euro options package included, which I think you could fill in yourself. So that sounds like a big deal, right? Like sounds like a really good deal. But in fact, 5,000 euro when you're speccing a new car, that can be as little as a navigation and audio upgrade. Like if you take those two options, that's already close to 5,000 euro. So it's really not that much. Then the monthly lease for it was going to be 219 euro. And again, that sounds really low. But it's over 36 months and that comes down to 7,884 euro. There's also a 40% down payment to be made before you get the car, and that comes down to 12,832 euros. Add that to the 7,884 we already had, and you're after 3 years 20,760 euros into a car that you don't even own by that point, because then you still have to pay the rest of the other 40%. You by this time paid 60% to come down to the 32,080 euro just to own the car, or 20,716 just to drive for 3 years. So that's not really a good proposition in my eyes, because I looked at used Sciroccos, specifically only 1 year old and with low mileage. I found one. I looked Europe-wide, because Luxembourg is kind of a small market, but I looked only up to 2.5-3 hours away. Found a used Scirocco GTS 2-liter turbo, 220 horsepower to buy. Second-hand for 24,900. I found one, was nice example. Also had the VW second-hand approval, so that means it's fully serviced and fully checked before you get it. It's a 2016 model, so only 1 year old and only 5,300 kilometers. Now this might scare some people. Why is the car? Why did someone get rid of the car with so little kilometers? Usually these are what they call direction vehicles, or what is also known as the test drive car. And that's also, again, not really something to be scared of anymore, because new cars, they like to be driven hard and not to be tooled around. So as long as the car is warmed up properly before going out, that shouldn't be a big deal. And on top of that, it had so many options that it's too many to list. It had 18-inch wheels, DSG, bike xenons, active cruise control, extra winter tires, park assistant, active suspension. It has the sensor to see if you're sleepy or not. Upgraded multimedia and audio package, etc., etc. So this is what you pay for 24,900 for 1-year-old car, right? Versus the 32,000 for a brand new car. And then I looked at what is it worth after 3 years. When I drive it for 3 years, just like the leasing deal, I drive personally 25,000 kilometers a year, so that's what I looked at. And I found one that had 70,000, so nearly my kilometers that I would have, 75 after 3 years. 70,800, it was for sale for 17,900 euro. You subtract that from the 24,900 that you buy it for, and you're ending up with 7,000 euro that you lose in the depreciation in 3 years. So that's kind of like it's not a fixed number, right? Because maybe when you buy the car, this model is on the way down in the value curve, and you have to see how new the model is and so forth. But for a general guesstimate, let's say it's 7,000 euro that you would lose over this Scirocco instead of the 20,000. So that's a difference of nearly 13,000 that you save in the pocket, and you own the car at the end, and you can still sell it for that 17,900. So I don't understand. Also, this other car that I found, the one that was 3 years older than the 1-year-old car. So the 2013 model was very similar spec. It's not like I compared the high spec to low spec or something like that. It was very similar. Basically only color difference, black and red. The older one being the red one. Anyway, 17,900 euro you can still sell it for, and you only lose 7,000 euro, which is a fraction of the money you would be spending on a low equipped new car. So I really don't understand why you would spend this extra 13,000 just to drive the first 5,000 kilometers on the car yourself. I mean, it doesn't make much difference in my opinion. So unless you are working at a company that buys the car for you and they want it to be new or something like that, I don't understand why you would choose to go down that road of buying a new car. There are a few other, let's get on the road again. So the only other scenario where I can think of that it would be a benefit or where you would go for a new car is when it was your dream car, when you've been dreaming of owning this car and also dreaming of configuring it and ordering it to your specification, like new Aston Martin or something, I don't know, something like that. But otherwise, I don't understand. There are other obvious plus points to buying second-hand car as well, like there's no waiting list. If you order a new car, usually has to be built for you, takes 3 or 4 months at least. And if you buy a second-hand car, you can usually take it away the same day, if not the next day. Another thing that people are very afraid of when they buy a second-hand car is this cost of maintenance. But it's going to be way less than the money you would spend monthly on the lease. And this money that you pay each month for the lease, you can put away, keep it as a reserve in case something does go wrong. You never know. But most of these cars that you would buy as a used car that are not so old, they come with this quality seal or Audi approved or something like that, and then they have a warranty which you can usually extend up to 3 years, and then it takes away all your worries. Something to watch out though when you buy used is that the fuel consumption of cars that are not of the youngest generation can be quite high when you're already used to a newer car. For example, you come from a job where you had a new car, then you go to buy one for yourself afterwards, then this fuel consumption can be very expensive. One of the most pressing reasons for me to buy second-hand rather than brand new is that I also don't really like the new cars that are available right now. That's why the comparison of the two Scirocco's, that's a car that is a little bit old school and the one that I do like. The new cars, they look alike. I saw the newest generation 5 Series a couple days ago in a parking garage and thought it was a Lexus until I was very close. and also interior quality. I mean, nothing here makes noise when you touch it, right? It's all very solid stuff. So new cars don't tend to be of this quality at all. They are usually not put together that well anymore. Things creak and make noise and rattle. That's just a bit of a pity. So that's why I think buying used is the smarter way to go. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Next time we're going to have a look at what makes or how can you tell that a second-hand car was well taken care of.